they told me not to question God. But if I never ask him anything, how am I supposed to know who he really is? I feel like so many of us have been taught, don't question God. You're not supposed to question God. Are you crazy? Don't question God. And especially as a child, if you taught it growing up, I feel like a lot of parents are also like this. And you ask them a question, it's like, because I said so. And it's like, because, don't question me. You ask a question, don't question me, don't question God. You're not supposed to question God. Never question God. And I feel like so many people have been told and taught that. And I don't agree with that. It's a lot of stuff that I've been taught that I don't agree with. You know, after you get old and you start realizing, I don't agree with that. I don't know about that. And it's just certain things and certain ways that people teach, and I think it messes up a lot of us. It leaves us out here trying to figure stuff out, not knowing where to start because you around all the people that taught you wrong. But when it comes to questioning God, I just feel like I said, we've been raised to believe that questioning God is dangerous. Like, it's like, don't question him. And I don't know. They teach you that it's disrespectful, even sinful, to question God. But what if the silence we're sitting in isn't reverence? Maybe it's repression. Like, what do you hold? You holding me back from questioning God. That means I can't grow. What if the thing God is actually waiting on is your voice? Your real voice, not the churchy one. We all know that churchy voice. Not the one filtered, but the confused, broken, frustrated one that whispers, God, are you still there? Because here's the truth. Faith don't always look like silence. Sometimes faith looks like wrestling, y'all. Like, big time wrestling. It looks ugly. It looks like laying on the floor, talking to the ceiling and saying, God, I don't get it. Help me make sense of this. Like, can you hear me? Are you there? And God, he's not afraid of that. He's not fragile. He's not offended. He's a father who wants your honesty more than your performance. Don't question God. I'm happy. You're not happy. You're going through so much in your life, but you're not questioning God so that you can get better. If I don't question God, then how will I know the answers? How am I supposed to not question God but have any answers? There's no growth in that. It's no growth. We've been taught that questioning God is disrespectful. Don't do it. Like, it means we don't trust him. But what if questioning isn't rebellion? What if it's relationship? Because real relationship requires dialogue. And dialogue isn't just listening, it's asking, it's wrestling with it, it's seeking, it's knocking. Even Jesus questioned God. My God, why have you forsaken me? He didn't lose faith. He was in deep pain, but he wanted to know, like, oh my gosh. And he brought that pain to the Father, not away from him. Questioning God doesn't mean you're doubting his existence. It means you're desperate for understanding. It means you're hungry for closeness. It means you're searching for truth, not just comfort. God is not afraid of your questions. He's not insecure. He's a father who would rather have your honesty than your silence. He'd rather hear your confusion than watch you fake peace you don't feel. He'd rather you scream at the sky than go numb and walk away. If you never question, you risk blind obedience without intimacy. But when you ask him why, how, when, or even are you there, you invite him to reveal himself in ways you never expected. And that might be the very place Your faith depends on growing a better relationship with God. Like, it depends on you questioning Him so that you can be closer to Him. God isn't offended by your questions. He's more so moved by them. That's what I feel like. Because as a parent, kids ask you questions, and it's like, I'm answering them so that I can teach you, so that I can grow. So I get it from the standpoint of being a parent and knowing you questioning me so that I can teach you. You're not questioning me because you doubting anything. I just have to teach you what you don't know. And I feel like God is the same way. He welcomes them. He welcomes them like a parent, like I am. Because He is. I feel like He is our parent. The endless, kids, sometimes they just ask so many why questions. Or, are we there? Or, what's that? They can ask a lot of questions. But the endless whys that kids ask, who's trying to make sense of the world, too big for them to understand. They asking those questions so that they can understand. Not because the child doubts the parent's love, but because they trust the parent enough to ask. Through scripture, people questioned God. Job questioned God's justice in his suffering. David cried out in the Psalms, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever?" Jeremiah said, "You deceived me, Lord, and I was deceived." There's so many times that people question God in Scripture. God didn't reject them. He responded, sometimes with answers, sometimes with silence, but always with presence, always with love. Questioning God doesn't mean you're faithless. It just means you're wrestling, and wrestling is a form of intimacy. I want to know. I want to be closer to you. I want the answers. Jacob wrestled with God and walked away with a blessing and a limp. God is not fragile. He doesn't require robotic submission. That's what so many people teach you that you need to be like. Robotic. Yes, Lord, this and that, and don't question Him. And it's fake, it's phony. He wants a real relationship. Raw, honest, vulnerable relationship. Not all that stuff that you taught by people. Don't question the Lord. Don't question God. Do as He say and all of this stuff. And yeah, that be getting to me. Like, it's so much. How does God feel? How would you think God feels about you questioning Him? Honestly, like, how do you think He would feel? Does He want you to question Him, or does He want you to not know anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, He leans in, not to scold you, but to sit with you in the weight of your wondering, to hold you while you're trying to hold it all together, to answer when it's time, or simply to be enough in the silence. And sometimes the question is the door to the closeness you didn't know you needed. The Bible never outright says anywhere, do not question God. So why are people telling us don't question God? Like, why are you telling me that? What it does show is the difference between questioning God from a place of pride and rebellion versus questioning God from a place of pain, confusion, or a desire for understanding. That's where you need to sit there and break it down and make people understand. If you're going to say don't question God, you need to say how you should not question God, not simply don't question God. Because you can question God in order to learn, in order to grow, and come to Him with an open and honest heart of, God, I want to know this, but not from pride, ego, and all the negative sides of you. God welcomes honest questions from the heart. David in the Psalms constantly questioned God. How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? Psalm 13:1. Why, Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? That's Psalm 10:1. David wasn't punished. He was not punished for this. In fact, the Bible calls him a man after God's own heart. What does that say? Job asked God why he was suffering. He poured out all his confusion and pain. God responded, not with all the answers, but with a revelation of himself. Job's faith was strengthened, not destroyed, for asking questions, y'all. What the Bible warns against is questioning from arrogance or disbelief. The Israelites in the wilderness questioned God's motives with hardened hearts. Did God bring us out here to die? This is Exodus 17:3. This wasn't a humble question. It was rooted in distrust and entitlement. They didn't want understanding, they wanted control. Zechariah in Luke 1:18 questioned the angel's message of a miracle birth with skepticism, and he was struck mute. Contrast that with Mary, this is Luke 1:34, who also questioned, how will this be? But her heart was open. She was seeking clarity, not doubting God's ability, and she was blessed. Y'all, I messed up on a little part that I was trying to bring in. You might catch it. You're going to go back and you're going to catch it now that I done said it. For real, for real. But I'm not editing this and I'm not taking it out, so it's staying. You get the point of what I'm trying to say. That's all that matters. And God knows my heart. That's it. So what's the key? It's not if you question God, it's how you do it. If it comes from humility, honest, and a heart that still seeks him, he welcomes it. If it comes from entitlement, arrogance, or disbelief, he may correct it. God would rather you question him than fake trust. He's not asking for perfect faith. He's asking for real faith. And real faith includes wrestling, wondering, crying, even doubting sometimes. But still showing up, still turning toward him. You are not weak and you are not wrong for questioning God when you're questioning him in the right manner. You are human and you are still his. Questioning God doesn't push him away. It pulls you deeper. It pulls you closer to him. So ask the hard things. Cry the loud cries and lean in close. Because sometimes the answers don't come in clarity. They come in closeness. And that might be the answer your heart needed the most. So no, questioning God isn't a sign that you're falling away from him, that you're putting distance between y'all. It's a sign that you care enough to stay in the tension, to stay in the doubt, to stay in the place where most people walk out of. You're not faithless because you're frustrated. You're not broken because you're asking why. You're real. And God doesn't deal in fake faith. He meets us in the raw. So if you got questions, bring them to him. Ask him. You can ask God questions. Anybody that ever told you not to question God, listen, you can question God. I question God, and I don't question him in a way of doubting anything that he has ever done. I question him for help, to lead me, to help me understand. I don't understand. I'm not getting it. Teach me so that I will know. That's the way that I question God, because I want to learn. I want to grow. So like I said, if you got questions, bring it to him. Talk to him. Talk through it. Bring the ache. Bring the anger. Bring the silence. God would rather you scream at heaven than pretend you're fine in hell. Just know that. Because he doesn't just want your praise. He wants your pain. He wants your whole heart, even the parts that don't understand him yet. So question him, wrestle with him. And don't be afraid to lose your composure in his presence, because that's where real relationship begins. And it's not your perfect words that move God, it's your honest ones. I have fallen so many times and fallen to my knees asking God, why? Why is this? I have cried out to him. Why did you do that? Why did you let this happen? I've questioned him many times, and not in a sense of wrong, but in a sense of God. I trust you. I believe in you. I want to know. I need to know the answers. I want to know the answers so that I can be closer to you, so that I can grow with you, so that I can be more, so that I can become who you want me to be. So yes, it's okay to question God. It is important to make sure that you acknowledge and know is how you are questioning him and where your questions are coming from. And I feel like that's the part that a lot of people struggle with, honestly, because sometimes our questions can seem like, oh my gosh, I am angry. I am very mad at you for what you have done. And I feel like I truly just believe that it's important to ask those questions so that you can get those answers and you can get that understanding, so that you can become a better person and that you can grow in the ways that you need to be, so that you could be closer to God and be a better version of yourself. I hope this resonates with y'all. I hope y'all understand, and I hope that y'all can get the questions asked that you need asked and the answers that you need from God. So I'll talk to y'all later.